It was just a regular Thursday evening. I had wrapped up work and was on my way home when something seemed off. Emily's car wasn't parked in the driveway. Usually, she liked to be back first so she could start dinner before I arrived. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. The house was quiet. Too quiet. "Emily?" I called. No answer. I checked the kitchen, the living room, even the guest bathroom. Nothing. A sinking feeling crept over me. Something wasn't right, but I tried to dismiss it. Then her phone buzzed. A message from a friend appeared. "Hey, she's with me tonight. Don't worry." That caught my attention. The timing, the tone, the casual assurance. All of it felt off. Emily had told me she'd be staying late at work, helping a client with paperwork. Yet here was a message from someone else suggesting otherwise. I didn't panic. I didn't call or text her yet. Years of observing people, especially under pressure, had taught me that lies always leave traces. You just have to watch and wait. When Emily finally walked in a couple of hours later, she smiled, acting completely normal. "Hey, got held up at work," she said casually, tossing her bag on the counter. I nodded, taking off my coat. "Oh, did you run into anyone tonight?" I asked. Her expression faltered for a split second, just enough for me to notice. "No, just me," she replied quickly, brushing it off. I smiled faintly. "All right, dinner's almost ready." She didn't notice how I paused, observing. The little inconsistencies, the glances at her phone, the hesitation in her voice, the fingerprints on the counter that didn't match her story, stayed with me. Sometimes the truth doesn't need confrontation right away. It builds quietly until it's undeniable. And tonight, by the time dinner came, Emily was about to realize that the truth wasn't going to stay hidden. By the time we sat down, I had made up my mind. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to accuse. I wasn't going to create a scene. I wanted her to feel the weight of her choices without me saying a word. The truth would speak for itself. Emily served the food quietly, glancing at me more than usual. There was a tension in the air, a subtle nervousness that only comes when someone knows they've been caught. I stayed calm. "So, how was your long night at work?" I asked, pretending to eat while watching her carefully. Her fork paused midair. It was fine. Just paperwork," she mumbled. I set down my fork and leaned forward, fixing her with a steady gaze. "Emily, don't bother with the stories. I already know." Her hand trembled slightly as she set the plate down. What do you mean?" she whispered. I reached into my pocket and pulled out her phone, not to punish her, but to make the truth undeniable. I handed it to her. On the screen was the same message I had seen hours ago. "Hey, she's with me tonight. Don't worry." Her face went pale. For a moment, she couldn't speak. Lips parted, then closed, then parted again. I stayed silent, letting her process it. Finally, she muttered, I didn't want you to get upset. I thought it would be easier if..." I interrupted quietly. "For whom? You or the lie?" Her shoulders slumped. I don't know. She shook her head. "This isn't about anger, Emily. It's not about punishment. It's about truth. And the truth hits hardest when you try to cover it up. You try to hide it, and now you're facing the consequences right here in the place where honesty should have lived. Our kitchen." She sat there, staring at the table. For the first time, she felt powerless. The comfort of secrecy was gone. The lies that had let her move freely for hours, or even days, had crumbled in an instant, and in that moment, she grasped the weight of hiding the truth from someone who trusted her completely. The silence was heavy, but louder than any argument could be. Emily stayed seated, trembling slightly. Her hands gripped the edge of the table. Her eyes darted to mine, then away, then back again. I could see it all. Shame, panic, the realization that she had underestimated me and overestimated her ability to conceal the truth. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't yell. I leaned back, letting the silence fill the space. Silence can be heavier than any words. And right now, it carried the weight of every lie she had told. "Emily," I said calmly, "we built a life on trust. Every lie chips away at that foundation. You covered up the truth, thinking it would be easier, but now you see how fragile that foundation really is. Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't think it would matter. I didn't think you'd find out. I shook my head. It matters. Always. The truth doesn't stay hidden forever. And when it comes out, it hits harder than anything you could imagine. This kitchen, this table, this home, it's where trust should live. And tonight, you've seen that trust doesn't forgive lies easily. She buried her face in her hands. I didn't reach out. I didn't comfort her. This wasn't a moment for reconciliation. It was about accountability. For the first time, she felt the consequences of manipulating reality for her convenience. Hours passed. She tried to explain, to justify, to speak, but every word fell flat. The truth had already landed. It didn't need my approval, argument, or softening. It was enough that she faced it fully, without distractions, without excuses, without me intervening. By night's end, Emily sat back, quiet and drained. She understood the magnitude of her actions. The lie she thought harmless had unraveled, leaving only the raw reality she had tried to avoid. And I realized something too. Truth isn't about winning or losing. It's about clarity. Tonight, clarity arrived in our kitchen. When I turned off the lights and went to bed, Emily remained at the table, staring at the phone on the counter, at the silence that had replaced her lies. That night, she learned a harsh but necessary lesson. The hardest place for a truth to hit is where you feel safest. Your home, your sanctuary, the heart of the person who trusted you most. And in that silence, I found peace while she finally faced the weight of her choices.